Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm told you I'd be remote. Sorry about that. I told you I'd be remote today. Uh, did not get drunk. Kind of chilled out. I was supposed to be at a couple parties, but I kind of laid low. We actually kind of did a lot of work, so I'm pretty excited. Got a whole new revenue stream coming up. But before I get into what I'm going to talk about, I'm probably going to be pretty short tonight. By the way, I'm going to just say that I ended up getting a position formally, that's going to put me in a position to kind of take this to the next level, and I'm excited about it. So that's pretty much all the celebration I did today. But anyway, so I was talking to my wife, kind of trying to figure out what I was going to talk about tonight, and kind of asked her, and she's like, she doesn't really follow politics, and I use her as kind of a metric for, how people that are affected by politics but don't necessarily look at it every day have other things. She takes care of a lot of things. She was our primary income for the last couple years while I've been doing the podcast, and so it's good to get her perspective. And she's like, she threw me an idea, and I kind of didn't want to get too personal. She wanted me to get personal. I'm sweating. That light's hot. But anyway, so it's kind of like, it kind of grounds me when I talk to her about it, because she has a perspective that a lot of voters have, and that is, politics exists. It may affect me, but it doesn't necessarily, it's not my life, and I'm not watching every little thing that happens. And I don't. There's nothing wrong with that. She actually said the comment, you know, there's war, it's sad, and it wasn't by any means, not compassionate. It was just kind of like, the weight of that is kind of how she looks through. That's the lens she looks at politics through. And so obviously there's other things. I'm not simplifying her viewpoint by any means, but it's good because I'm paying attention to all this nuance and watching what they say on Twitter and kind of seeing what's going on. And people that are on that outskirts are the people that need to be reached as well, and kind of motivated, because there's people, maybe she might agree with a lot of my positions, but if she's not engaged, maybe those positions don't change. And that's, again, this isn't, I'm not slighting her. This is just, this is a whole host of people that I'm going to need to reach if we want to change hearts and minds and so forth. So uh anyway, so it kind of grounded me. I'm totally sweat. I hope this is in HD. Ugh. So that conversation though, and I wasn't sure if I was going to use what she was talking about, but I wanted to just kind of mention that conversation at the meta level. And that is that these things that you kind of see going on in the football, there's people that don't follow the sport. I talk about, I don't follow sports at all. There's people that don't follow this at all. And when you talk about any kind of anything about it, it's not that they don't have viewpoints, it's just an instant switch off. And that's a hard thing to kind of circumvent and get people motivated. And it also depends on how close it is to home. And that's not this, again, my wife was not being discompassionate by any means, but it's kind of like there's all the other concerns and things going on in life and everything else. So anyway, I just thought that was an interesting perspective that I could kind of talk about, since I didn't do a whole lot of research today. um, I go through my Twitter feeds and I do all that kind of stuff, but the thing that's sticking out right now is the war machine engine is just screaming. I mean, you've got a lot of imagery coming out that's supporting, they already put money on the table. I don't know if it passed. Excuse me. I don't know if it passed, but so that's the other thing. Like, that's one perspective that you can see, even if you don't pay attention. Now, all of a sudden, there's money everywhere. The imagery is being pounded on everybody. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't be, and I'm not saying that I'm pro Ukraine. I mean, I'm not even close to Tulsi Gabbard or anything like that. I'm not suggesting, but I'm saying that there is this, instant kind of money drop when we talk about security. But when people are living insecurely all the time, daily, domestically, there's not that instantaneous kind of switch that happens. And so, that's another kind of thing that's been kind of happening. And then, as I've been talking about lately, these narratives, that are being spun, and they're all this is kind of wrapped up in this kind of momentum to get people back elected. You know what I mean? Not the war. I'm not suggesting. I mean, Putin's doing his thing. I'm not going to get into that. You're being bombarded by that, and I'm not educated on all the things that are going on. I just know that there's been mistakes made in our past that have led up to this in all three administrations that we've had, and so now Putin's empowered and doing dumb shit. That's my take right now, and people are dying. So anyway, before I go into that, the point I'm making is that the engines are going to kind of get everyone on the same page about this, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't be, but it's always interesting to kind of step back and say, all right, how they crank out the imagery, you've got feelings, you got hero status, and I'm not saying that any of it's wrong, but just if you're going to look at it objectively, you can kind of say, all right, well, there's a mechanic that you need to, it's formulaic in a way, how you generate, enough attention on a subject. And if you know how to do that from a state level, which Putin does, that's why his people are kind of confused, and you got people going on the news trying to say they're lying to you. He's kind of mastered. He's spread that over the globe. And so, we have our own form of that we do. And so, you see these PR firms that have psychology and everything else, and they're creating this momentum. And I'm not saying it's bad that we're supporting Ukraine. I'm just saying, like, it's always interesting to see. It's just a pattern. My career and day job is essentially computer logic and that kind of thing. So, if you look at, you have to look at the scope of the problem and say, okay, well, what's happening here? Why is this happening? And so you look at every angle. So it's not a negative. I'm not supporting, anything with it, but it's just funny because that's, I'm going through my news, feeds, and I'm trying to talk about something else, and that's all I'm seeing, and I get it, and that's the topic, and there's a lot of it's awful, but there are things that are happening and why that money drop happens so fast is worth understanding, because if you can replicate that for things that we need domestically, that's power. I guess that's probably my optimist view, but anyway, so those are the things that have been going on. I figure I'm going to stop now because I'm rambling, but things are good. And I dropped that message yesterday, just thanking everybody, my haters. And I got a really nice message from somebody who follows and subscribes. And it just made my day again, because, I freelanced yesterday, just like I'm doing today. But sometimes those topics, when they mean something, the intent gets across. And so it felt good. So again, I'm dropping gratitude for you guys and your support. I love it. And it wasn't a hater. I told you I wanted hater hate. I want I guess I want my own hater fucking page. Like, I need someone to build like a whole fuck Nate, something like just hating me on the internet, and not violent by any means. Don't kill Nate, but that way I feel like I'll have made it when I have like a hate group or a hate page. It's like, oh, this guy's a jerk or whatever. Anyway, so, look, my goals aren't to get famous. That's why I'm saying a hate page would be cool, because it's like, all right, people hate me. But, if I could change hearts and minds by reaching more people because I have a fucking hate page, that's dope. All right, I'm going to go. Things are good. I will be back next week on Monday at 10:30. Thanks for sticking with me, guys and gals and everyone else, and all the important and theys and he's and hers and she's. I got to come up with something. That's pretty dope. I just came up with that, by the way. But I want to say, I've gotten a couple things in my inbox that just kind of make my day, and it just keeps me going. So I will see you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Again, I will be kind of working on next week, and I plan on rolling out some of the things I've been teasing. So this weekend's going to be a working weekend. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the show that I do on Monday. And we also, like, one of the things I can't even stop because there's so much going on. I'm kind of overwhelmed, but we have these concepts that we're coming up with. I think they're going to kind of help us to push the message out as well. And I say we because I'm now collaborating. So things are going in the right direction. So anyway, listen, I'll end it. I'll see you guys on Monday at 10:30. Thanks for sticking with me. We made it through another week. Enjoy it. Be safe. Come back so you can see it on Monday. Peace.